Hey guys, so I think in my last video about Steely Dan, I said it was the first unboxing I had ever done and will ever do, and I'll quote Walter from this show.
And that was a dirty lie.
As you can see, yeah, I was about to leave the house today, and three packages showed up, and I figured, I don't really know what's in them. I mean, I have an idea generally about, what I ordered, but I'm not sure which is which, and I don't remember the places I got them from. But I figured we'd do a literal, unboxing, because they're actually in boxes. So I don't know what this is again, but we're gonna, and if we have this problem where I can't open it immediately, maybe I'll speed it up or something. It's another copy of Northeast Corridor, and as you can see, unfortunately, and wow, I did not do that because I was not opening it that rough, but they kind of chipped the thing there. That's really unfortunate. But I guess since I got it, I will. You know what? Because I got tickets to how many different concerts, and each one of those tickets gives you one free. Jesus Christ! Look at this. Look at that. I mean, it's practically cracked. Anyway, I got these tickets to these concerts, and each one of the tickets gives you a copy of Night Fly Live or Northeast Corridors Live. So I am gonna end up getting maybe like 4 or 5 of these anyway. So I'm gonna open it. Some of them I like to keep just not even open. Oh my gosh, it's like completely wrecked. Well, this is really hopefully the disc is fine itself. I mean, the disc looks okay. Jeez, Jesus. Shipping is I would say a -2 out of 10. But okay, I did listen to this before from the other video that I had. Really good live album, really solid. I'll be honest, there's a lot of stuff in it that is different from what I expected. A lot of the songs were repeated from Alive in America, right? Steely Dan's 1995 first live album. What were the duplicate songs? That album also had Bodhisattva, it had Asia, it had Peg, it had Reelin' in the Years, even though that was a 90s version, if you remember what that sounds like, if you're, I guess, a hardcore Dan fan, or if you want to call it that. And then it had, what else did it have? Another song, what was it? Bodhisattva, Reelin' in the Years, Asia, Peg, Kid Charlemagne. All the songs on this are great. All those, including the two, like, just kind of like, came out of nowhere. Any Major Dude Will Tell You, and Ricky Don't Lose That Number. Really solid. I hate to say it, but some of it sounds really overproduced, and I only say that because it's so funny. That is one of the biggest, or one of the main issues that I ever had with Steely Dan. That my dad brought it up a while ago, and I didn't even think about that, is that sometimes it sounds almost too overproduced. When it comes to the studio stuff, I don't really mind that. I mean, I think that's, to say that is a bit really blasphemous for them, because a lot of the stuff that they did was just so impeccable, and how they really revolutionized recording and mixing. It's really unbelievable. But I only bring it up because I remember hearing Jack of Speed for the first time. I liked it, and then I heard Walter sing it in the '96 concert. There's a famous recording going around YouTube, '96, I think, in Manassas, Virginia, singing Jack of Speed before they recorded it for Two Against Nature in 2000, and I swear to you, it rocks a lot more. The one on Two Against Nature, the studio version, Jack of Speed, that Donald sings, different lyrics, more interesting lyrics, but it's slower, and it doesn't have that same kind of umph, and just, I don't know, chutzpah that Walter gave it. So there might be other examples. Besides that, I really don't have any problem with them being overproduced. Wow, this really, I mean, this is look at that. Maybe this is a good thumbnail. I don't know. So if you haven't seen me unbox this one, go watch the other video. I'm gonna just save this CD and this booklet. I have a little CD plaque that my friend Josh gave me where it's like a frame. You can put a CD and a booklet in it. I'm gonna use that. Anyway, that's the first unboxing. Here's the second one. So it's fragile. Boy, you should have wrote that on the other box. So we're gonna open this. Okay, so this one, wow, and they also packed it like this. This one, thank you for your order. Hold on. Am I gonna need scissors? Hopefully not. Such an underrated album. I know there are a lot of Steely Dan fans. I don't want to get, I don't want to categorize people or generalize, but I know a lot of them are older who have been fans since the beginning, like my dad included, and I think that's great. I think that's awesome. But I know that a lot of them don't. From what I've seen, they don't care too much for the reunion albums, Two Against Nature, and 2003's Everything Must Go. So if you look up Steely Dan ranked on YouTube, a lot of people that rank their 9 studio albums, they kind of put Two Against Nature and Everything Must Go like the bottom 2, and they always preface that Steely Dan doesn't have a bad album, and I mean I'll go even as far to say that as they don't have a bad song. So I can understand like them kind of falling down there, and it makes sense in a way because if you were if you were younger at that time and you grew up with Steely Dan as a kid when they were releasing albums and stuff, that's the impression of them that you got. That was the kind of music that you were exposed to, that you fell in love with. And as it got jazzier and more pop sounding over time, especially with Gaucho and the Nightfly, which I count as Steely Dan in some same vein because people were, it was almost like a Steely Dan album in the 80s because Donald Fagen's solo sound is so similar, which is why when Walter made 11 tracks of Whack, people might have been turned off a little bit because it wasn't Steely Dan sounding as much. But point being, that was the sound that you're used to, and the more poppy and jazzy it got, it's kind of like, it was up to you, like, well, is this something that I'm still enjoying? Can I follow this? Am I still really close to the rock stuff? I got a lot of friends who really like the first 3 and 4 albums, and everything else are just kind of like, and I totally understand that. But all that aside, I mean, if you're just really trying to like figure out what they're about, at least in their later albums, and kind of what their peak, not peak, but like their final statements were as a duo, if that makes sense, I would listen to Two Against Nature and Everything Must Go. There's a great video that I'll link to, I forget the name of it, but I'll link to it, of someone talking about, kind of what his friend told him about listening to songs at least 3 times to really get the flavor, understand what the song's about, really wrap your head about it, be open-minded. I've tried that with a lot of artists. Sometimes it works, sometimes listening to stuff today, it just doesn't go for me. But trying that with this album, it really, really worked. Same with Everything Must Go. So underrated. Again, they don't have a bad song, and actually, I would say this is probably pretty high in my album's ranking list, to be honest. Just really good. Great grooves. Great. I mean, they got the Grammys for it for best pop vocal album, best pop performance by a duo or group with a vocal, best engineer album, non-classical. I mean, yeah, it's I think it beat out Eminem and someone else in 2000, but really great album. I would highly recommend it. I think the biggest thing about it that kind of turns off some hardcore Steely Dan fans is the fact that think about it, like, they haven't written anything in 20 years. Well, they have. Donald wrote his solo stuff, and Walter wrote his solo stuff, and Donald wrote stuff for films, but nothing Steely Dan-ish, except for, they had Jack of Speed in 96, they performed that live. Then they had Cash Only Island and Wet Side Story, which didn't make it on the album, but I guess they were supposed to. So they were writing stuff earlier on in the mid-90s for Two Against Nature. But it's like, it's been off and on, a writing for 20 years, non-Steely Dan related, and then they're older, and I would not say that they're fighting to stay relevant. I don't think that they've ever wanted to be relevant in that terms, but music in the world had changed. So in a way, like, they are bringing, that does influence them to a degree. It's not like they were just in Iraq for 20 years or, under Iraq. It's going to influence someone. So, I mean, that's another factor as well. But I think a lot of it is some of the choruses and the bridges are a bit too, some of the harmonies and melodies are a bit too out there compared to even Asian gaucho. Like the build up to the chorus in What a Shame About Me, at first it totally broke the groove. And I felt like, okay, this is kind of like, it's too much, the chords are too strange, the vocals are doing too many weird stuff, but if you think about it lyrically, think about a conversation where, I'm a Debbie Downer and you're telling me all these positive things, like you did this, your kid went to school, you had a great day and this and that, and I'm like, well, I wish I had that. I'm just do this. What a shame about me. I'm like this. That's the kind of idea that I got from their What a Shame About Me, like, chorus, is that this guy is just kind of like bringing down, being very negative, and that's why it kind of halts the groove, and then you get back into it when she's like, okay, talking about herself again, the other character.
How about yourself? I'm still working on a novel, but I'm just about to quit. So worrying about the future now, or maybe this is it. It's not all that I thought it would be. What a shame about me.
So stuff like that, I think, with the lyrics, it's very, it's just kind of like, very weird. And same with Negative Girl, such an underrated song. They've never performed it live, as far as I know. I really wish they freaking would. The chorus in that, I thought at first was a bit like much, really high and kind of like, a lot of falsetto too, which I don't remember Donald doing too much until Kamakiriad, if I'm not mistaken. So all that kind of put me off at first with Two Against Nature, but after a while I really came around to it. West of Hollywood as well. Great sax in the end, wonderful build-up. Some of the really fast running melody lines with the vocals were, again, a bit much at first, but I think if you kind of get past that after a couple listens, and don't think of it like conditioning yourself, I think you really start to enjoy it and you start to see what they were going for. But I think in one of the interviews, one of them, Donald or Walter, mentioned, well, buy the new albums, listen to them, and then throw out all the old ones, and then buy them again and listen to those, and then you kind of get what we're going for. I didn't do that, but I do kind of see what they're going for, and I think the direction that they chose was really beautiful. So I'm not going to open this. Actually, the reason I bought this, I actually already have this. I bought one from a local record shop, and I won't point it out. I'm not upset or anything, but I assumed that it was a sealed copy, and it wasn't. It was a used copy, and that's totally fine. It plays great. It plays wonderful. I have it in my car, but I'm kind of OCD about, as you can probably already tell from watching me talk, about having sealed copies. So I actually have a lot of other sealed copies here of most of their CDs. They're stuck together. All these sealed. I won't show you all of them, but I do have all of them from Can't Buy a Thrill all the way to well, now Two Against Nature. I don't have Everything Must Go yet, but I am going to order it soon. So, but yeah, so I'm really big. Oh, and I also have Live in America sealed as well, and then I have the Greatest Hits sealed. So great albums, really good albums. And one thing I did get recently, which I am really happy about, which I'll probably open, but I don't know, it might be difficult, is Cheap Xmas, totally sealed. Donald Fagen's 4 solo albums. If you go online and you look for the box set of the vinyls for that, it's so expensive, man. So anyway, I'm not going to open this, but really great. Would recommend. 10 out of 10. Seriously. So let's go to the last thing. I think I have an idea about what this is. So it's 4 more copies of Northeast Corridor. None of these are nicked. There you go. And this one doesn't even say fragile on it, and there's no extra kind of padding on the inside. So yeah, let me just rate this album 4 more times individually. No, it's a great album again. I would definitely advise you to go out and buy it if you can. What I thought this was I bought a version of the Rare Tracks of Whack. It has a picture of Walter Becker on the front going like this. And I thought that was going to be in this package. I should have known it was going to be more than just that, because that's 1 CD. This is 4, and the package is kind of big. But that one, I think, supposedly it has, like, Junkie Girl and a couple other, maybe Surf and or Die, a couple other, I think, Walter, the songs that made it on the album, but I'm not sure if they're, like, demos, extended versions, or if they're just the actual tracks. And then I think it has, like, a interview with Walter, then, like, a monologue from, like, a show. I don't know, but if you just go to Google and you type in... or DuckDuckGo, you type in Rare Tracks of Whack, Walter Becker. I bought that one used, so that should be here soon. Maybe I won't do an unboxing on that, because I realize that these videos are not so much unboxing as they are just kind of rambling about Steely Dan, and maybe I'll open a box here or there. So, but yeah, that's about it. Probably give these to my family. I don't know if anyone wants them. But or leave a link if you want. No, I'm kidding. I'm gonna keep them. That's it for this one. Definitely would. Let's recap. So the first Steely Dan thing that I opened, terrible. Well, wonderful, but the shipping was terrible. Second thing, Two Against Nature, would highly recommend if you didn't feel the reunion albums when you first heard them and you're a hardcore Steely Dan fan, or if you're new to Steely Dan and you're just interested in looking at stuff. I would recommend definitely listening to that and to Everything Must Go. And there are great recordings. Like, there's a guy on YouTube called, I think, Dan Belcher, if I pronounce his last name correctly, who's been uploading some remasters. He does, like, audio production, audio remastering and video remastering of some really great concerts. And the bulk of them are earlier 2000, I think, 2003, 2006 concerts, where they were promoting Two Against Nature and Everything Must Go, and the quality is wonderful. It's great. Really great songs on all those reunion albums. So would definitely recommend that. What else? And then the last ones, yeah. I mean, honestly, to be completely honest, now that, okay, so let's say we have a new live album, right? We're going to compare it, if we even possibly can, to Live in America. Which one's better? I hate to even make that a question. It's so hard to say. I mean, it's personally, I would say I still really like Alive in America, partially because it sounds closer to some of the bootlegs I've heard, which and I'm talking like soundboard bootleg record, very good quality ones, and to me it feels more like I'm there. I don't know if that makes sense. The new one, the quality's great again, but some of the overproduction is just, and also Donald's voice, it's not his fault. I mean, he's had voice lessons. I think he mentioned that in the interview with Paul Schaefer, the Sirius XM interviewer or whatever. You can probably find that online as well. That he had voice lessons in the recent years, which I totally understand. I mean, if you listen to the concerts, like maybe like the later, before 2010 or something, or maybe around that period, his voice is really starting to get shot, and he sounds a lot more confident, and he definitely is a lot more confident in the shows and live recordings online, but his voice is a lot thinner, and I can tell that they've done a lot with production to try to beef it up, and it's not the same as kind of the energy that I got out of Alive in America. But maybe it'll grow on me. I mean, it's still new. It's great. I mean, I would give both of them a 10 out of 10. Honestly, after all that shit I just said, probably a 9 out of 10. But they're both so good. So take care. This is the last unboxing video I will ever make. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. Take care.